Right, hello there, everyone. You have not come into the Conor McGregor live stream. You have most certainly come into the James Redmond live stream, and this is the LFC Talk Show. Let me get the banner. Let's make it official. Oh, it is official. And I am joined by two amazing guests. First off, we've got the man. We've got the man to my left in Alex. Welcome to the channel again, my mate. Obviously, you're a regular. The people know you by now. How are you, brother?
Good, brother. How are you?
I am absolutely fucking marvellous, my mate. Absolutely fucking marvellous. People, make sure that you go and subscribe to Alex, the Cop TV. I'm on there tomorrow, as a matter of fact, for Cops.
He's a knobhead, but he's hilarious.
I'm a knobhead, but I'm hilarious looking, is the way we'll go. Is the way we'll go with that. But we're also joined by another very special guest. Don't worry, Toy lads, we'll be back soon as well. But we're going to implement a new guest to the show, a man like Nick. How are we, my brother?
I'm good, bro. Good. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Sorry, Nick. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting your intro, but I think the chip easier because my dog's barking. And I'm so happy because I'm starving.
What an intro.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Chinese chippy.
Chinese chippy. Alex, Chinese you know with Scouse blood that's the meal over here. That's the roast dinners, my friend.
Not in that.
Yeah, lads. Don't play. Nah, this is what we've got. We've got barbecue ribs. We've got what else did we get? We also got duck spring rolls. We also got some nice special fried rice. Oh, mate, we've got a lot. We've got a feast coming, my friends. If
Liverpool aren't gonna, hungry, man.
If Liverpool
it's gonna be cold by the time we finish, man.
That's it, man. That's it. Yeah, we can warm it up. Boys, that's why God created microwaves.
Microwaves in them, man.
Microwaves, lad, microwaves. But shout out to everyone who's in the stream. So before we do get into anything, we are going to show the topics that we are going to be talking about today. So for those who don't know, let me just move that banner a sec. So we're going to start off with, are we the worst champion? So boys, hold your guns and hold your armour, because that's what we're going to be talking about. Henderson needing to go back in the midfield. Also, that's a statement from myself, to be fair. Is Naby Keita a flop? Roy Keane's comments in midweek. Leicester City combines 11 and preview. And then we're going to talk about Jurgen Klopp and quotes that he said in midweek. But on that topic of Jurgen Klopp as well, people, of course, we cannot go without mentioning, well, for me anyway, condolences to Jurgen Klopp and his whole family with the news breaking today that, obviously his mother passed away. Just may his family, ease up and rest up, and may Elizabeth Klopp rest in peace.
And I think over the last few weeks, you've seen people talk about how Klopp has maybe or maybe not been reacting in post-match interviews and stuff. And when something like that's weighing on your mind for someone that obviously is so close to you, and then on top of that, you can't go and see them. That's like a double heartbreak. So
it's devastating, man.
Hopefully, I mean, listen, you can never get over that, but hopefully it doesn't affect the team too much from that kind of point of view. And obviously, all thoughts are with them right now.
Maybe hopefully it galvanizes them. Do you know what I mean? And gives them something to get behind.
Do you know what,
though?
Absolutely right, Nick. And the way I think of it is even though football to me is one of the most important things in my life, there's many more important things than football. And in this instance, regardless of the situation we're in, we could be 30 points clear or we could be in the relegation zone. Take the time you need. If you can't make it for the Leicester game, listen, I'm fine with that. I think he will be. But even if I'm proven wrong, I am not going to raise an eyebrow. I am not going to question him. Listen, man, you only know about something like that happening until it happens to you. And in a time like this, it's always worse. So anyone who's struggling, who's watching this video, who's maybe been through something similar, we're not trying to start the video on a downer, but obviously we send our best wishes to you as well, because that's always tough, man. And I seen some tweets and stuff saying sorry,
what was it earlier? Do you remember?
Sorry,
no, I was going to say it was mum as well earlier in the pandemic as well. It is.
Yeah, I actually do remember that. No, 100% right. But we just wanted to send best wishes to Klopp because, of course, that was news that came out today. But, boys, let's get into some of the topics that we said we were going to talk about. Listen, I know Liverpool are terrible right now, but this is the show where we try and bring a little bit of positivity to people's lives. Before we do get into anything, smash a like, subscribe, rhubarb, shut your mouth. And yeah, let's get into it. But also, subscribe to Alex, subscribe to Nick. Link is in the description. Rhubarb's me dog, and she keeps barking. I don't know why it's taking so long. The chippy should be in the house now. Anyway, Alexis, are we the worst champions ever? Now, before you answer that question, I just want to quickly give you my answer, and then I'll let you intercept, my friend. Now, before I do answer, I just want to give the argument that, I just want to tell you the arguments of people who are saying that this is the worst defence from champions ever. Let me just tell you this. So these are the points that they're making. So we're 27 points down from the stage that we was last season. We've dropped 14.5 times more points by this point. It's only February and we're fourth. Doesn't really look like it's going to get much better. We won... So do you remember the Watford game, our first loss in the Premier League last season?
Yeah.
We had won 35 of 36 Premier League games going into that fixture. Since then, we've only gained 60 points from 34 games, drawing 9, losing 8, and winning 17. So basically, their argument is, even though we're in an okay position in terms of the league table, top 4 is not always that bad. It's the amount of points that we've dropped off by that they're comparing it to. However, last thing, Alex, before you answer, let me just put this into perspective. My argument is, even though admittedly we are shit, get on this, in just the last 8 years, this is a list of teams how they've done after they've just won the league in just the last 8 years. So United in 13-14 finished 7th. They won the league the season before. Chelsea in 15-16 finished 10th. They won the league the season before. Leicester City in 16-17 finished 12th. They won the league the season before. Chelsea in 17-18, they finished 5th. Won the league the season before. And then even go to City last year, Alex. Manchester City, even though they finished second, they were 25 points behind us in March from being with us. So I want to ask you, Alex, in fact, and last thing as well, none of them teams have had the injuries like we have. Not to try and make many excuses. We should still beat Brighton. We should still beat Burnley. But they haven't had the injuries like we have. It's just, I don't really know. We can still rectify the position we're in. What's your thought, my mate?
I would say 1,000% we're definitely not the worst defending champions.
Yeah.
Only because we're witnessing this now of 3 consecutive home defeats are we even talking about this is the worst, or look at them. It's only because it's relevant now, but realistically, the names you've listed there, out of those, it's got to be Chelsea. They finished 10th. I mean, it is all about results, table results. I was
going to ask, what do you think the worst one?
Yes, listen, there is the points thing, of course. We wouldn't have ever dreamed that we'd have lost this many points. We're pretty much the same team, with obviously the injuries this season. But it's all about where you finish at the end of the season, really.
Definitely.
And we're still in early February now. So let's have this conversation in May, when if we are 3rd, then 4th even, then no one's going to be saying we're the worst defending champions.
Definitely.
Chelsea literally came 10th. United 7th. So as long as we don't get worse than that, then there's no way that we're the worst defending ever. It's a joke.
100%. What about you, Nick?
To be honest with you, pretty much what Alex said, man. 1,000%. You're chatting absolute out of your ass if you're trying to say at this point, at this stage of the season, that we're the worst. You're just chatting shit. Like, cool, innit? The fact remains that if you take Van Dijk out of just put Van Dijk to the side, innit? Just put him to the side.
Yeah.
Lost the best player. Like, put that to the side, and then couple it with the fact that we don't even have a single senior centre back, or we haven't for some time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to put this into perspective. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea finished 10th, and imagine they had man like Lampard, or do you know what I mean, or Essien at the time, or someone like that. They didn't even.
That was with a world-class manager.
They didn't even have those type of things. Do you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
Imagine if John Terry was injured.
Yeah.
Say that again.
You know what I mean? Imagine if John Terry in that season was injured for 6 months. Are you mad?
Mate,
no, it's
what,
true.
You think Robert Huth would have
We've lost, sorry, Nick, 1 second. We've lost 3. If you're just losing, like...
That's Terry, Carvalho, and Alex.
Laporte last season. Literally one centre back. If you we've lost 3. Joe Gomez, Matip, and Van Dijk. Do you get what I'm saying? It's
and I know rival fans. I know rival fans would like to chat shit, but I'm saying this with my chest. Matip is top 3 defenders in the league when he's fit. So like people are like, oh, it's only Van Dijk. I'm like, no, when you actually look at it, the actual quality that we've lost is ridiculous. We didn't lose Beyonce and her like 2 backup singers. We actually lost, like, do you know what I mean? Matip, when
you lost the whole damn show. That's what you lost.
We lost the whole Destiny and the Child and everyone. We lost them all. Do you know what I mean? Because what used to hurt us so much is the fact of how good Matip was when he was in. If he was Lovren, it wouldn't have been so bad. But we were crying like, please, why are you not? Because when he was there, he was incredible. And then you go and lose that. And then you go and it's ridiculous. Also, Alex did say as well, I remember seeing it. You said that we're quite unlucky to have won the league after 30 years and then have no fans. Like, I don't care what
champions. Like, how? Everyone who's watching that video online at the minute, I'm getting some comments fed to me, and it's just like,
I can imagine, but you're just thinking the truth.
Liverpool fans know, but obviously everyone else is going to say, "Oh, look at him, he's blah blah blah." So it doesn't matter.
Do you know what? Do you know with the fans thing, I'm kind of in a very similar boat to quite a few neutrals. And the reason why is because I just don't think, and I will not accept that excuse, even though I know as a Liverpool fan, the fans were the best 12th man in world football. There's a very good argument for that. I get that we've lost that. That being said, it's just one of them things where I feel like with everyone being in the same boat, you just can't use that excuse. If you want to use the excuse that the points dropped, just don't be so short-sighted, because not only are we not the worst champions ever, we're not the worst champions of the last 8 years. So stop being so goldfish short-minded and actually realise what you're actually talking about. They're doing it because...
And realise as well.
We should be bantered. We should be bantered because we should still beat a Burnley. We should still beat a Brighton without all them players. That being said, it's just very reactionary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's reactionary. If you look at last season, I think we won 28 out of 29 of the first games. Or I mean, the first game. That was just until we lost against Watford. That's the best start
going into the
in
Watford
any
game,
league
we'd won
of all time.
in
the end,
I was just about to say that, Alex. We're getting judged by our own
start. This was the best start of any league anywhere ever in the record book. Like 28 out of 29. Are you mad?
And then you're trying to say,
calling me as well to tell me how much the record is. It's crazy.
But now you're saying that you're come on, it doesn't make any sense. We're being judged by the standards we've set ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Which are unprecedented.
Listen, like I said on I was doing something the other day, and I said, at the minute we're playing like a rock star who's toured the same album for 4 years. Yeah. And he's played in every city, won all the Grammy Awards, the Mobos, everything. He's won it all. He's achieved it all, bro. He's done millions and millions and millions on this one tour for this one album. And he gets to the end of the tour, goes to perform, and he's lost his fucking voice because he's knackered for 3 years. We've been playing total football for 3.5 years with the same team. There was a stat the other day. 7 of the players that played on the weekend started the 2018 Champions League final.
It's mad. It's
That's
mad.
3 years that we've been playing together. Naturally, there's going to be a point when we go, fucking hell.
Do you know what I mean? Alex? It's like, that's where you've got to look at FSG. People say to me, James, why do you always point the finger at FSG? Why don't you blame the manager? I do blame the manager. When the man makes a mistake, I do say Jurgen Klopp should have done better in that situation. Definitely. By the way, just before I forget, Donny Donovan, shout out your damn self. Thank you for the super chat, my mate. You'll never walk alone.
Redmond.
Come on, lad. That's my Brazilian name. When I go to Brazil, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Not because it was a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Just because it would have been cringy coming from this, this presence. Like, it suits a different body than this. So anyway, we'll get this hombre. I'm not even going to try and speak Spanish because I'll probably say something bad without even realising. Anyway, that's my argument to it. It's just like, I understand there's many more things that can come into it. Klopp can do better with the circumstances. The players can do better with the circumstances. But like what Alex has just touched on, this is a squad that has been the same frigging squad for the past 3 seasons. And if we've improved it, we've done it by basically trying to pay them improvements with scraps down the side of the coach. Scraps being Dominic Solanke, scraps being Ryan Brewster, just down the side, and then we'll go and spend 20 million.
Oh my Christ.
Goodness gracious.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Right, are we back? That was just that. I don't know what that was. That was just me karate chopping my thing. This is why I need like a microphone. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. All loud and clear, buddy.
We're still alive. It's FSG, man. They're making me fume. They're making me camera want to run away.
Getting you hot, man.
Move on before you start battering someone.
Nah, defo. Well, I thought that this would be a good thing to segue next into, because the captain of this team in Jordan Hendo Nino, I always talk about his importance to the team, and I always get a lot of stick for this important. This
I fucking hate talking about
this shine that I put on Henderson and whatnot. And we're not even going to talk about it. I've said my piece on Henderson. I've said how I feel. Yous have said your piece. This is all I want to say to people who might have a doubt, and also the show on the topic is, the way I labelled it is, Henderson has got to start in midfield for Leicester. There's no doubt about it. Let me tell you why. Liverpool in the Premier League this season, Henderson starting in the midfield has played 11 games, won 7 of them, drew 4 and lost 0. We've also scored 28 goals in them games and 11 goals conceded. So, and also achieved an average of 2.27 points per game. With Henderson not starting in the midfield, we've played 12 games. We've won 4, drew 3, and lost 5. So compare that record straight away. With him in midfield, won 7, drew 4, lost 0. Without him, won 4, drew 3, lost 5. Like, I'm not even trying to be the Henderson ballsack licker that a lot of people assume me to be. But boys, you cannot deny, if you watch Liverpool, that Henderson is essential, and not just this season, in every other season, to our build-up play.
Mm-hmm.
He's massive.
Yeah, look at 13-14 in the game that Gerrard slipped. Hendo got sent off, and we didn't have him for Palace.
We win that title. I still say that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you know, listen, I've said 1,000 times that Jordan Henderson is the most important player to have on the pitch for us in midfield. I've said it time and time again. And if you can't see that, when the facts are there in front of you, the numbers are there, and every single footballer on that pitch will tell you, on the Liverpool team anyway, how important he is. And if they don't know, then you definitely don't know who's commenting from fucking behind a laptop in fucking Burnley. They definitely don't know.
Nick,
can I say something?
I was going to ask you, Nick, like, what's your thoughts on about how people talk about Henderson when we all know?
Listen, I've said on my channel as well, like, in terms of if you're putting in terms of the situation we're in now, let's just take this situation right now. You couldn't, Bar City, who had Fernandinho do it, and do you know what I mean? It was a bit. There's not a lot of players. Højbjerg couldn't do this. Like, it's more intelligence. I'm tired of saying to people how intelligent of a baller Henderson is. Like, I don't care. All I ever hear is, oh yeah, but in terms of, like, he hasn't got as much techers as a Paul Pop. I'm like, yeah, I get all of that. But
it's so boring.
It's just boring. It's just, I'm saying, I'm tired of having that, because right now, I've even said, right, in terms of him being a centre back, I don't have a problem with it. If Henderson was a clone, do you know what I mean? Like, and there was another one, I wouldn't care. He does an adequate job in centre back. It's what we miss from him in midfield. That's the biggest thing. What I wanted to say to you quickly is, come on, man. Like, Klopp is a genius, and we all rate Klopp. Do you know what I mean? And we're sitting here, we're just football analysts, and everyone. You said the stats to me. You can't tell me that Klopp doesn't know that. I've said that in terms, even in the City game, there isn't a team that moves the ball better or quicker or smoother than City. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the lack of strikers that they have. There isn't. Man United maybe, but that's only on a fast break. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, going into that, I just thought it was criminal that we couldn't have someone like Henderson be the only person to be able to. Why do you think that is? Because Klopp must know this. You know what I mean? I doubt Klopp's sitting there like, you must know this. What's the position?
he's been so left out with options in the centre-back position to the point where he's been forced to have to use that role. He knows Henderson's IQ, as you mentioned. He knows that he's going to do a job in any position. Kind of like a James Milner. He's going to give you a 7 out of 10. Probably no more, probably no less if you play him out of position. And it's like one of them things where he's reliable. He's more reliable than a Reece Williams to make a mistake, especially coming up against a high-pressure Manchester City team who are going to come and press you down like there's no tomorrow. You need composure at the back. So I don't even blame him for not starting Davies or Kabak in that game. But even this comment here from Mojo, it's like Henderson is good for Liverpool, but not in any other top team.
Every team would love to have Henderson.
I'm sorry, mate, but it's like you don't. This is where you're wrong. He's not just good for Liverpool. As a matter of fact, so many teams are just missing a Jordan Henderson.
They're missing a Jordan Henderson. Oh my days!
Or a Milner.
Man City are missing a Jordan Henderson. As good as they are, if they could add a leader like someone like that, do you know what I mean? That's the only thing. As soon as they let go of what's it called? Their defender. Why's his name gone out of my bloody head?
Diaz, Stone.
No. The one they let go of.
Mangala.
No, their captain.
They've had a lot. Oh, company.
Company. Yeah. Soon as company. Yeah? And then, do you know what I mean? Bernard, like they haven't really got. That was probably what was missing. Do you know what I mean? And that's Man City, who's top of the league. Let's not talk about an Arsenal or a top. There's so many teams that could do with our Jordan Henderson. I just don't even want to hear that. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Nah, defo, man, defo.
Move on.
Nah, Alex, I'm wondering from you, my mate, because I want to see one of Kabak or Davies in the next game against Leicester. I'm just wondering, is that the approach that you take? Put one of them into the team. We're going to talk about the lineup and whatnot in a bit. So, would you put one of them into the team and move Henderson forward back into the midfield?
I'd put both of them in the team and move Henderson and Fabinho up with Thiago, but that's kind of ruined my midfield and defence. But
it's all right.
But I mean, why have we bought them, bro?
We'll talk more about these when we get to the team, but it's one of them things where I actually have a defence for Klopp, and we'll touch on it when we get there. But we'll move on to the next thing that I want to get in.
To be honest. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, people. Hey, listen, I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry. Nah, it's fine. Nat Phillips, it's one to talk about. He's been just forgotten now, and he was really doing well. In fact,
Reece Williams. I didn't say nothing, but I was thinking, forget Reece Williams. Nat Phillips was there.
Nat Phillips is the guy. He's been the best player in 3 matches that he's played for us. So,
like, what's that new app where you can airbrush people from like photos and whatnot? Like, if you get a picture of all of our centre backs, you might as well just airbrush Reece Williams out of it, mate, because he's got no chance in getting in this team, at least right now.
And it's not even his fault. It's not even his fault. He should never have been put in that situation.
Should have never been put there.
Could have minced the Harriers business.
Defo. But anyway, and next thing I want to say, happy birthday to you. Wait, happy birthday to you. Wait, happy birthday, dear Nabi. Dear Nabi, happy birthday to you. Yay! Nabi Keita is 26 today, as a matter of fact, which is mad, because I've done a video where I mentioned him. I was like, he's 25 years of old. I posted it today. And yeah, it's just one of them things where he's not. He's 26, so I was lying. Right, so I thought, you know what, this is going to be a good little segue into talking about Naby Keita, because I'm very interested. People compare him to like fucking man like Oxlade-Chamberlain, and my argument is Oxlade's been better because he's had a better period of football. When he first came, Oxlade was a monster. That's why he goes above Keita for me, just in terms of what they've done for Liverpool. However, has Naby No Legs Keita, Nick, been a flop?
Mate, firstly, I want to say, shout out that video you done, but I was in tears by the end of it, man. I was seeing some of them players, mate.
Did you watch it, the top 10? Don't mention none of them. If you just want to go check out the top, if you want to go check out the top 10, go and watch that. Go and watch that after this. To be fair.
Yeah, boom. I would have to say so, bro. Only because.
He said yes. He said yes. He said yes.
Do you know what it is? It's more ratings, to be very honest with you. It's more ratings because I'm not quite Matt on Coppish. You would know that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not quite.
Shout out to the Coppish boys.
Shout out to the Coppish man. Them. I'm not quite the leader of the fan club, but there's no way you can't see this guy in what he did in life. Mate, James, I was so gassed. Like, he's one of the few players, him, Thiago, so like, and especially because of the weight. Do you know what I mean? And Fabinho, because it came out of nowhere. I was like, oh my days, bloody hell. But Keita, I was like, bro, we're getting Keita. Oh,
and when we signed him, we still had Coutinho. So we were like, oh my days, we're going to have Firmino, Coutinho, Naby. Like, it was crazy.
It was ridiculous. The gas levels was ridiculous. And then, if you noticed, right, this was coming because in that season, he never really... I remember keeping an eye on him, do you know what I mean? Because he was coming and he never wasn't really hitting. But I was like, it's cool. Don't worry. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. His head's not in it. His head's over here. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. And like I was watching. I was thinking, I haven't seen the Naby of the season before, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. He come, and I just think his potential, because there is another stat, and I should have probably done this beforehand, but I didn't know. But there is another stat in terms of our win ratio when he's playing or starting. So he is an influential player, like, without a doubt. But
defo, 100%.
Like, there's no one that doesn't watch Liverpool. I can't say that he is, and that's why I'm saying so, because I do rate him and I'm putting him. It's his potential. It's like, I know what we could be doing.
Potential, yeah, man.
He had that, but he is not that. Someone said, I think, shout out Grizz Khan. The best ability is availability. And on that,
I like that.
Note,
I'm gonna put that quote in the book.
That's what I'm saying. On that note, he has to be a flop, bro. Like, there's nothing he can say.
Yeah, Alex, before you say your thing, because I want to get your thoughts on what Nick's just said. Nick, to back up your stats, he's missed 73 games for Liverpool and 48 of them due to injury. So I want to know your thoughts on whether Naby Keita, whether you agree with Nick, basically, Alex.
Naby Keita is a flop, and in the next transfer window, we need to sell Naby Keita.
He went in there harsh. Alex went fucking about. Fuck this.
Yeah, he's a flop, and we need to sell him. I mean, taking the number 8 shirt is a big job anyway, especially at our club. And it's a bit of the poison chalice. It's a bit like when Fergie, let me land. Come on.
I'll let you land. I'm
sitting in that one. Go on.
To take the number 8 shirt and kind of, like I said, it's a poison chalice. When Fergie left United, obviously the next one in directly after him was never going to work. It's like the same every time. And I think if I could write you a list now of players that I can rely on and players that I cannot rely on, then obviously he's on the list of players we cannot rely on, i.e. let's sell the players that we cannot no longer rely on. And that is players like Matip has to go because we can't rely on him anymore. Unfortunately, we need to be more ruthless, and we've shown it, but now we need to follow through with it. Naby Keita has to go. I'm sorry, we can't rely on him.
As the plane landed.
And you think I'm just saying this for a laugh, bro? I've been saying it for time.
I'm listening to what
I'm trying not to laugh.
No, I'm consuming your information. I'm consuming your information, my brother. Don't you worry. But this is, man's going in raw, like with no rubber.
No
man,
rubbers.
Like Jake says, it's perfect.
No jimmies.
George, mad though. It's like this is my counter.
I take chances. Coming like gigs.
Wait there, let me land, because this is what I want to say counter to your argument. So you mentioned Naby Keita needs to go because he's not reliable and he has been a flop so far. Correct. I agree. So far,
can I just wait, before you go, James, before you go as well, can I just quickly just say, I do reckon, to counter to caveat Alex's point, he could command quite a good fee. I just want to say that.
So move him on. Move him on. He's a good age still.
Okay, at the moment, he could command
we could recoup 30 M's top.
Easy.
Okay, that's a very good point. But let me put it in this perspective. What's the one thing that Liverpool have been struggling with this season through many injuries, which even though have been outrageous, there's been squad depth has been our problem. So when you think about it, and it's not just being at centre back, that's been number one. But apparently at the start of the season, we had loads of midfielders, but a lot of them are injury prone. So when you think of it, and Naby Keita's one of them, but when you think of it, you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain there, who's 28, 29. You know, he's going to be ready to move on. Okay, is he? Is Oxlade-Chamberlain
down,
20?
yeah.
Well, either way, he's more injury prone than Naby Keita, so I'd want him gone before Naby Keita goes.
There's an argument there.
That's
There's an argument there,
No.
James.
I'll argue with him.
Yeah, I'd
We'll
argue against
He
that.
never fucking plays.
an
Go ahead,
argument.
sweet. Nah, go on,
Oh,
sweet.
he's not getting picked at the minute. He's fit now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's not
He's not
playing.
getting picked.
He's not good enough to play at the moment, clearly.
I'd
Now,
play
let me
Curtis
land.
Jones
Let me
over
land.
Naby
Let me
Keita.
land.
Oh,
Let me
no,
land.
no,
I
no,
let
no.
you come on my channel. I let you come on my channel. I let you land. You better let me land, otherwise I'm going to mute your ass. Anyway, let me say this and let me just say this one thing. So, when it comes to Naby Keita, you have got to say this. When you've got a Oxlade-Chamberlain there ready to go, when you've got a Genie Wijnaldum who apparently isn't getting a new contract, you have got to be caught. You can't just sell everyone at once. So you said you want him sold in the summer. It's not realistic. And it's like he's one of our biggest signings. I get we can still recoup a bit of money for him now, but we can do in a year's time. So it's like one of them things where I think he has been a flop to this point. However, just because I think he's been a flop doesn't mean that he can't rectify. Think about the player he was coming to the team. And it's one of them things, like you said, Nick. He influences the team when he's actually in there. So even though he's having these injuries, if there's any God's green earth chat, because you're here talking about Oxlade-Chamberlain, well, Nick mentioned it, but you seem to have agreed with him. If you're here mentioning him, then you've got to want to keep Naby Keita, otherwise you're just fucking the squad up. There's no doubt about it.
I've got 2 points.
Go on.
1 point is you said for squad depth.
Yes.
Again, best abilities, availability. There's no squad depth and James, look at me, mate. Come on.
You're on my laptop screen as well. That's why I look at there.
You can't tell me that there's been times that we've needed Naby this season and he hasn't been there because of injury. So you can't say squad depth. He's not even available when you need him.
No, I very much can say squad depth because even though
Replace
he's not
him with someone
now,
who is available.
Nah, but then you've got to replace Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know FSG are not going to do
Curtis
the activity
Jones
to where they're replacing
through.
and saying all the... But we also need more players, though.
Now
Because
we do.
hasn't been enough.
You're right. But my second point was...
I'm sorry.
No,
go on. The whole reason I'm saying that we need to sell them so we can reinvest. I'm not just selling them to not replace them. Like we're gonna.
This is what I was gonna say.
Surely we're doing the mad scouting shit now.
Well, this is what I was gonna say.
We're doing the mad scouting now.
If you know we've got Michael Edwards as a ninja, yeah.
Exactly.
So
don't worry about who we're gonna get. He'll get someone. Don't worry.
Nah, but that's not what I want, though. If you're gonna make a decision on selling someone, I want someone who I know is gonna come in for them. Facts. Who's available? Who can we get?
Like Coutinho at Barca looks good.
Grealish.
Well, it's one of them
Jackie
things.
Grealish, come on.
I'd love a Jack Grealish, but it's just not the way FSG move. I just think we need to start investing.
If we had Michael Edwards and he could I don't know, negate a 70, because obviously there's COVID. Let's say he could negate a 70 million. That would mean getting 35 million off from Keita.
Are you mad?
Alice is already juicing. Alice is already juicing.
Oh, mate.
Wait,
if we can sell Ox and Keita and get Grealish, you telling me you wouldn't do that? Come on, man. That was fun, that.
I'd do that.
There we go.
That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know.
Yes. But guess what? That's dream stuff. And at this rate, we're not even getting Champions League football. So let me tell you this, and let me tell you this for free. Jack Grealish will not.
Oh yeah, because he's been in the Champions League, hasn't he?
Liverpool will not spend the dough to get Jack, but he's a Champions League player, and you can't even deny it. He walks into any team in real football.
Come play Champions League with us.
That's what I'm saying. He's a Champions League player that ain't played Champions League. Like, come on, man.
But we might not have Champions League by the time we buy.
Oh, come on, James, come on, man. What channel?
Listen. That's the maximum expectation now. And with the current form, we're playing worse than most teams in the bottom half. So I'm sorry, Nick, if I'm being a bit too thingy.
No, do you know what it is?
Facts, though. You've got to be open-minded to it.
No, do you know what it is, right? I'll let you know how I feel in it, because I actually feel not too bad. I don't feel too bad in the sense of like I'm sometimes an optimist. You know, sometimes you'll play the lottery, yeah, and I don't know about you lot. Sometimes you think, oh, this one's the one. Do you know them ones there? You're like, yo, like.
You get the little £2 scratch cards, and you're thinking, this one's the one.
And you're thinking, yo, what's still after the weekend when I bust? Like, this could be me. Like, you know, you're thinking of all sorts. Like, you're looking at that dog, like, mate, I can buy you. Watch when I come through, like, and then obviously you scratch it, you realize you don't bust, and then you can just go back to living your regular. You know what I mean? You can go back to just being like, you know what? Fuck it, innit? Like, I can go back and eat my dick chicken and you know what I mean? I can buy my do you know what I mean? I feel like that. Now, if we're beating them, there would have been one eye, like, oh, even though it's unreachable, you never know. Like, they had me thinking stupid stuff. Like, bro, I was thinking dumb shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when we did the double, like, no one can't talk to man, certain Man United. Like, I was thinking dumb. Now I can just be like top four. Like top four. And I know that we've got that. There's no way we can't do that. I think when we've got our eyes on, like, now I just know, like, we all know here that title's gone. Let's just do what we do. And come on, you can't tell me that we ain't got top four if like that. Come on, man.
Nah, we can. Listen, we're actually, I think we're favourites to get top four, but I'm saying if things continue the way they have been, it doesn't surprise me if we don't end up getting it. Because it's not normal Liverpool. Normal Liverpool gets top four easy, but it's not.
We're in relegation form. Let's not mess about.
Yeah, that's fact. That's fact. But just shout out to CSO. Thank you for watching the stream and whatnot. I really appreciate anyone who tunes into this and whatnot. But Liverpool will play in Europa League next season. I see your YouTube badge. I see it's a Man United. Talk about next season, which don't get me wrong, I'd be happy to jump there now. But you're playing Europa League football this season, so I just be careful before you come at me. I know we're in shift form in the league and you might be above us, but listen, we're still in the one competition that you shouldn't get. And you only need a one win in the last three. Call me salty because you're right, I am. But it is what it is. I love it. No. You can't say nothing back as well because he wouldn't be able to say nothing back. It doesn't even matter if he could. I'd say that to anyone on any given day. No doubt about it. But I also wanted to catch your thoughts on the Roy Keane comments, boys. Because to be honest with you, when I saw them and I saw what he was saying and he was labelling us as bad champions, and didn't like a legend or someone come out and reply to him about something and said, like, you can talk when you left a Forest side who got relegated and came into a winning Manchester United team or something like that. Anyway, I saw them and I was just like, standard.
That's what he said again, bro.
Yeah.
I was just about to say.
Well, to be fair, I actually should have had the quote up in front of me. But all he was basically saying...
No one on our side is paying attention to what Roy Keane said.
All he basically said, is that we're bad champions. And he said we're really bad in terms of the way we're approaching. Right. He's not really asked about the excuses and the injuries and whatnot. He basically just thinks we're terrible champions. And I just saw it. No, wait there. And I just saw it. And I was thinking, like, do you know what? Like... You've been waiting to say something bad about Liverpool for time. And this isn't me being salty, but let's be honest. Roy Keane, he tries to get moments. He might be telling the truth, but he tries to get moments, so he'll exaggerate his point. He'll do this, that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day...
You know it was, though?
Go on.
You know the video of him watching himself do the dancing?
Oh, the Mika Richards one?
Yeah.
Oh, he's there like that on FIFA. He's just there doing all this.
Yeah, he watched that, and then they asked him about Liverpool, so he was pissed off. He was in a bad mood. But what I would say is, how about this then, Roy, if you want to play that game? Let me take you back to 2002-03 season, I think it was. At the start, so 02-03, United won the league. Keane was captain. And then in September, Rio Ferdinand fails the drug test. Their best centre-back out for 8 months, In that season, Roy Keane got sent off against Porto in the Champions League, and they went out of the round of 16. They also finished third in the league, and that was their title defence. So we've dealt with a big injury, so did they, and they've gone out of the round of last 16. We're in that now. Hopefully, we get past that. But he's been there, and it's happened to him. They've lost Rio, and their season collapsed. Everyone's come out and admitted that. And that's what something like we're going through now. But we hope to have a better season than them after that season they won it.
I don't even know. Where did they finish at when Rio went out?
They didn't win the league, bro. And they
I think they only fell short. I think they only fell just short to Arsenal that season. I think that's all it was. It weren't that bad. It was bad, but it weren't that bad. It's one of them things where when I saw them, Nick, it was just one of them. But then I even watched a Pep Guardiola interview, and like he was just basically even mentioning and talking about Liverpool. Like, look at us, we were out of the title race a month ago, apparently. But now we're okay. This, that. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts about it all, Nick?
Like, I'm not being salty, but I don't really rate I rate Roy Keane's
They
punditry
came
about
third, bro. They
manager.
came third 03-4, sorry.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. That's right. He's just there to just clickbait, innit? Let's be honest. Like I don't think even he would have backed that comment up with any type of factual. He's just saying it, innit? Do you know what I mean? Oh, they're bad champions, and I don't want to hear anything. And you know, he's got that tough man image, and he just rides it.
Definitely.
Like, cool. Like at the end of the day, if you know football, not even if you're a Liverpool fan, but like there's neutrals that are like, nah, listen, like it is a madness what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It is what it is. You just have to just like take it with a pinch of salt and just keep on moving.
When it's Roy Keane, that's exactly what you've got to do. Just take it as it is.
Exactly
It's just like, you know, and listen, there's Graham Souness who has a poor pulp for agenda. There's many other pundits who have their own little issues within it. Roy Keane's been waiting to say something. We'll give it to him. It is what it is. But anyway, from Red HD, Liverpool right now. Oh, it's been hard. Days,
he's always had a hard one since
days,
night. And I've been working
like the dog.
We appreciate the super chat, my mate, bringing the vibes to James Redmond TV, what you always love to see. Cheers! But yeah, boys, I just saw that and I thought it was worth I mentioned. You mentioned someone before, though, Alex. Curtis Jones. The man, the myth, the legend. Well, he's not a legend yet, but probably a legend. In fact, that's what I want to talk about. What's his ceiling, boys? Because when I watch Curtis Jones, like especially in that City game, he's the one player. In fact, we played okay until Alisson conceded the goals, but he's the one player who can really say he actually tried to drag Liverpool out of that position. Or, well, even though when he went off is when it collapsed. You get what I'm trying to say? He was defending brilliantly, his attacking was fantastic, and he just looked experienced.
Listen. I will never, ever, ever compare anyone to the man that is Steven Gerrard. If I was ever going to put two people next to each other who have had similar journeys, it would be Curtis Jones. The same squad number, you know, the way he plays, he's a Scouser, obviously. He's going to be in the team for a long time. He could get that number 8 shirt after Naby, you know. If Naby goes, Curtis Jones will get that number 8 shirt.
I'll be all right with that.
And we'll make a big impact.
But anyway, my point is, I'd love to see, and what my point was, I will never compare him to Gerrard, but I would love to see the stats that he has had for Liverpool now, Curtis Jones, compared to that age when Gerrard was at Liverpool. Obviously, come through the ranks together. I'd tell you what, Curtis Jones has probably played like, 50 games for us?
Yeah.
He's played a good few. I can get it up dead quick now, but...
I'd love to see Gerrard's stats after Curtis Jones' first 50 games. Do you know what I mean? Because even though you wouldn't compare it, I bet you Curtis Jones wouldn't be far off, if not more than Gerrard, to be honest. And I know it's not all about assists and goals and all that kind of stuff.
He's got 22 appearances, by the way, for Liverpool.
Curtis Jones, is that it?
Well, I don't know if this is just...
Is that
just league?
I was just about to say, is that
he's played in FA Cup, home and away.
What I was going to say
is after that period, Gerrard went into that crew cut Gerrard period when he was untouchable.
Yeah, but I think Curtis's ceiling, to answer James's question, and again, I will never compare anyone to Steven Gerrard, but the blueprint has been set for him to just follow that. So that is the ceiling, if not more. Like, why not try and eclipse it? I think if you're Curtis Jones, you're going to look at yourself as Trent is and go, I'm a Scouser. Realistically, I'm never leaving this football club. Why don't I just try and be my own player, but obviously try and win the same, if not more than Gerrard won? Why not? The ceiling is the sky's the limit. There is no ceiling.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I agree.
Are you on the same boat there, Nick?
I think with Curtis, he's just there in it. But I'm definitely on the boat, man. I agree, man. I think Curtis is a talent. I think, do you know what it is? I'm be very honest with you, and I'm be real with you.
Dead quick. When I was watching his first team appearances, 38.
There you go.
Go on, man.
How many goals and assists?
He's got 6 goals and 4 assists.
See, that's decent, bro.
It's all right. Listen, that's fantastic for that age.
For that. Worldie in there as well.
I'm just comparing it to Gerrard.
A lot of them will be substitutions as well. Not all of them will be starts.
Yeah.
I was saying, in that City game, I personally didn't see, especially in the first half, we were quite even. Obviously, it was 0-0 in that, but I didn't really see any I don't know, and I may have been wrong, but it was just me. I didn't really see. I wasn't scared of our attack. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think I just didn't. If anything, it was more City. I was like, oh, mate, they seem like they could pull something
Devastating.
out. Other than Jones. Jones was the only one, and I thought he had the little he hit the post or whatever. But I did think, I was like, when he was on the ball, he was progressive, and I thought, yes, like come on,
someone who's doing.
I didn't put him. He didn't have no fear. I thought him and Foden. I was like looking at them. I was like, yeah, they're on stuff, and that's why I was a bit like when he took him off. I was like, whoa, what? I don't get it. I didn't understand it. I think he's been doing I think Jones. I forget the game. But 3 or 4 games ago, he didn't have a great one, and I think people come on him. And I can't even know. And he didn't have a great one. I think they scored off. They scored. They took the ball and he scored in that.
He's had a few shaky. He's had a few shaky games, but
he's come from that. He's come out of that, and he's putting in
when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, man, like it's character, and like I said, like Alex said, I think again, it's not just like he's always there and everything's going his way. There is some Gerrard-esque, do you know what I mean? Like kind of mentality, like you know what, things haven't gone right. Boss, let me on again. I'm on it, and I like him, man. I think
defo. I agree. I think people are too quick, man. I think people are way too quick to jump on young players nowadays. They done it with Nico. They're doing it with Trent because Trent's still only 22 and he's actually one of our own, and we're still going at him for some bizarre reason. It's fucking crazy. So Curtis Jones has a few bad performances. Guarantee he's going to get slaughtered for them. There's no doubt. But boys, because we haven't got much time left, I want to start talking about the Leicester game. Your thoughts before we do, people. There's 270 of you in here. Make sure you smash the like and go and subscribe to the Cop TV and also Nick. Literally, it's a touch of a button, but also click the 2 links in the description. Click on them, go to the channels, subscribe. Nick's channel's there, Alex's channel's there. Boom, bang, pam your mum. Anyway, let's move. So, Leicester City combined 11 based on the whole entire season. I wanted to do that, and I thought, you know what? It's actually probably a lot closer than what it would have been a few months ago. Well, it's definitely a lot closer than what it would have been a few months ago. And we could even lose if you think about it overall. So we're going to do a combined 11. I'm going to try and be as non-biased as possible. You try and be as biased as possible. Boom. But if you agree with something, then you agree with something. So we'll do 4-3-3. And was you about to say something, Alex?
Alisson. I mean, I was about to say Alisson, then I realised what the fuck was that at the weekend.
We're going to go based off the season.
Yeah, Alisson then, all day long.
Right. Yeah. I'll go through the team and then we'll go the position. We won't just shoot through it. Left back.
Robbo.
I agree. James Justin's been fantastic this season. No, you've got to give it to him.
Yeah. But Robbo's been. I would say Robbo's been one of our best players consistently.
No doubt. Yeah, 100%. Right now, right back. So who is their first team right back? I swear it's like Castan.
Pereira.
It's Pereira, isn't it? Yeah.
Pereira's been injured a lot, but Castan, I haven't heard no complaints about Castan at right back. People in the chat, please let me know. Are any of you going to put an argument up for Trent?
Yeah, 100%. Trent.
What's your argument then?
Well, he's won it all. Stick him in.
That was a shit. Nick, you give an argument. That was shit.
No, you know what? I don't. Again,
give me something that I can work with.
I'm blaming you because you said you was going to send me the topics and you didn't. If I had known, I would have had the stats. But if you actually check, as bad of a season as Trent is having, and by all accounts, Liverpool fans will know that he's not having a great one. He's actually like top 3 in terms of like a lot of this. He's not. Do you know what I mean? He's not having a mess stats wise, is what I'm saying. Please back me up if you can do. If you've got them there.
If James Justin's been playing at right back this season, then I'd put him above Trent. If we're going off this season, James Justin has been fantastic. Like, I'm not even trying... Like, Trent is... Overall, there's not even a comparison. But if we're talking this season, James Justin, if he's playing right back, is most certainly...
But is he, though?
That's what I need to know, man. But you know what? I also know that they play versatile. They play versatile. I'm going to go with
I'd go Justin. I'd go Justin. I'd go Justin.
We'll go with James because we're going to put Robbo left back no matter who. So it's like we'll put, and I know that James Justin can play there. And remember, people, this is solely off form. We're not saying overall. We're not saying who's our favourite player, who's we'd rather have. It's still fucking horrible to say it, but it is what it is. Centre-backs.
Gets a bit sticky now, though, isn't it? So, what are we saying?
No,
hold on a second.
Fofana's definitely in there, yeah.
Fofana, no doubt.
Is this season?
It's been all right.
This season.
I'd say Fabinho and
Fofana. Yeah, I'd say that because you can't really. Fabinho's been a decent centre back this season, bro.
Fabinho has been levels. Fabinho.
He's been levels, bro.
He has been levels.
Bar the last game, he's been, and I don't even think he was fit the last game. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Now, I would put an argument up for Soyuncu, but I'd be lying to myself. That's it. So Fofana's been the standout left back, centre back for Leicester, and Fabinho has literally stepped into a role all season. Great defensive record until we got more injuries. Great individual performances, bar one against Brighton when we drew 1-1 is all I really remember. Other than that, he has been flawless. He has looked like a B-Tech Van Dijk, and that is not a bad thing. If you're a B-Tech Van Dijk, that's a very, very good thing. There's no shitness, but that's where B-Tech is fantastic. That's where you can get any job with the B-Techs, you know what I'm saying? It's one of them things, mate.
And may I say, he's not had a centre-back. He's had about 2 or 3 partnerships as well. Come on.
Facts.
Come on.
Oh, my days. So much facts.
Having to deal with that, dealing with Reece 1 week, dealing with Phillips 1 week, dealing with Henderson 1 week, and
he just guided them through all the game. And it was fine. So I'd be happy to do.
I needed to put that in there.
They're the centre backs for Fofana, Fabinho. So the back 5: Alisson in goal, Robbo left back, right back James Justin, and then the centre backs is Fofana and Fabinho. Right midfield 4-3-3. Woo! Right, I'm putting Ndidi in there straight away. There's no doubt he gets into this team. Unless you want to argue.
No, I'd take that.
Right
now, Ginny.
I agree, but I need to think about Leicester's team. Nick, you can also chip in as well.
Maddison.
I was just about to say, Maddison has to be in there on this season.
Is there any midfielders that overlap the Leicester ones, Rick? Because Tielemans has had a great season. Boys, we can't get wiped out in the midfield. Do you know how good Tielemans been?
But then I would put Tielemans with Gini, though, if I'm honest with you. Gini has...
I'd have Gini over him.
I'd have Gini over Tielemans. But...
I would, but Leicester fans, I don't think would argue with that nicely, you know. And I'm only doing... I know this is my channel, I can do what I want. I'm just trying to be fair. And I'm just thinking about it. Ndidi no doubt gets into the team.
No doubt. No complaint.
It's very likely James Maddison is going to, but we'll get to that when we need it. When you think about our better performing midfielders this season, you've got Gini, who's really as well, even though he's had a lot of great games, he's also been more outshined for the fact he's been just available. I'm not trying to say he's been shit, he's been very good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just being fit will give you an extra ratings at the end of this season. Like, no doubt. Curtis Jones, you know, he's been one of our revelations, but you can't say he's our first team.
Throughout the season, he's been levels, let's be honest. But
Thiago's been injured and he hasn't played that well, regardless for whatever reason. He hasn't played that well in these recent fixtures. He looked great when he played against Everton and when he came on against Chelsea at the start. But this recent patch, I'm struggling to think if we can fit anyone in here. Boy, Gini Wijnaldum based on reliability, but what? Let me ask this: what does he do that Tielemans half doesn't? Now maybe there's something I just don't know.
He's the ball better.
Ball retention.
But sometimes, if I'm honest with you, I'm just being a bit of a bastard to my own point. Sometimes I feel like that's what hinders our progressive attacks is the fact that he.
I was going to say.
Too much, so I don't know.
No, I don't know, man. I disagree. I think he was actually the only one the other night who was showing a bit of guts and was actually running with the ball even in the last minute when we knew we were going to lose.
I would agree with the other night, but then there's other games when I'm like, do you know what it is with Gini? Sometimes I think he's top 2. I honestly think you're hard pressed to find someone else that you can hold the ball. Do you know what I mean? Hold off a man. Like no one can't take the ball off Gini. But sometimes I feel like instead of the outlet pass, it's right there, Gini. He'll then do a little bit more strength, and do you know what I mean? You're like,
yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, boys. I think this is the midfield. I'm not letting them have a clean sweep. I'm not letting them have it. Even as the Leicester fan in this situation, I am not letting them have the clean sweep.
No, Thiago?
Thiago, nah.
I'll probably agree with that on form, to be fair. Like,
Alex, there's not a chance he gets in on form.
nah,
Like,
he doesn't.
It
hurts me, bro. Yeah.
It's heavy, bro. That's the one thing I think about Thiago. It's like we're not seeing, and it's not your fault. We're not seeing the best of you, but it's not your fault though. It's devastating. So that's the midfield. Ndidi, Gini, and James Maddison. Now the front three, and I already Salah on the right. I agree. Yeah. It's not going to be Mark Albrighton or them, man. Striker, come on, Vardy.
Yeah, Vardy has
and then,
to.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but Barnes goes above Mane.
Yeah.
Barnes goes above Mane.
I said Barnes at the moment on form.
At the moment, yeah.
Boys, even though Mane has a great start, and this goes off the season. This goes off the season, and Mane has a good start, but Barnes has been whoosh. he's
That's a punch in the fucking chest, man. Jesus,
man. Bang, that's a bang, bang. Oh, what's it? What's the score there, boys? Jeez Louise on a drumstick. What's the score there? So we've got Alisson, we got Robbo. Yeah, I'll read through the team and you do the score. So Alisson, Robbo, James Justin, Fabinho, Fofana, Ndidi, Gini, Maddison, Salah, Vardy, Barnes.
6-5 to Leicester.
Oh, I didn't know it was that close. To be fair, I thought it was going to be I thought it was a bigger gap.
I still can't believe the Barnes thing. We all just unanimously
unanimous decision, bruv. Oh, that's
unanimous. Harvey Barnes.
Come on, Manny.
Now we need Mane to get a hat-trick. Now we need Mane to get a hat-trick against Leicester just to tell us to shut the fuck up.
Come on, man.
Come on, Mane. Come on, bro. Boys, also score predictions for the game and a quick lineup from you both as well, if possible.
I'm going to go for Alisson, Trent, Phillips. Sorry, Kabak and Davis, Robertson, Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, and the three lads up front. And it's going to be a 2-1 victory to the Reds.
If that team starts, I'll be confident. If Fabinho and Hendo go in the midfield again, I'll be happy with that.
You know, when he's just reading them off, I was like, oh, that midfield is
first time we'll ever see it.
The Bills will play that midfield because it sounds defensive. It sounds defensive, but the Bills will play that it creates unreal. What about you, Nick?
Mate, it nearly gave me a stiffy, but I just don't think he's going to do it, bro. I don't think he'll do that. And it sounded so saucy, bro. But if I'm honest with you, I think Fab goes back in midfield, back as centre back.
The seasoning on that is mad, cuz.
It's mad, bro. It was juicy, bro. It was juicy. Personally, it depends what you're asking. Are you asking what my thing is, or what do you think I will think? Because I would go with
two different questions.
Yeah. You do what you think we'll go out with, because it sounds like Alex and what we all want.
Yeah, I think what we'll go out with, mate. There's a bit of optimism because I could see the same. I could see Fab and Henderson again, really, but I'm hoping that man knows that I'm just hoping. Like, and you know, when I say that, both of you are a bit like, I can see it as well. Right, let's be honest. But I'm gonna say Fab. I would like to see Kabak. I think he's quite combative. I think he would Vardy. Do you know what I mean? I would like to see someone who's. Do you know what I mean? I'd like, and I think, like I said,
more level head.
This is like the fifth partner. Fab will be able to kind of, do you know what I mean, coach him through it. I'd like to see that, and then I'd go same fullbacks, obviously, Alisson, and I'd go Henderson. I'd like to see Henderson, Thiago Jones, to be honest with you. Same front three. Yeah. Same front three.
Yeah, I'll be fat. Listen, if you ask me, because I'm going to do a preview tomorrow where I'm going to guess the lineup and score prediction, but if you ask me what I want to start and what score I think it will be, if this team goes in...
I didn't give you a score.
Oh, go on.
3-1.
Please, for the Lord of Nazareth, be the case. But anyway, get on this. So, Alisson in goal. This might be the same team as yours, Alex, but anyway. Alisson in goal, Robbo, Trent, Kabak. I don't know. Fabinho. But then I'll put Henderson back in mid. Thiago, Gini. Let's move forward. Mane, Firmino and Salah.
Okay.
And then we move with the name. But from NBAFC, James, how is Salah better than Mane? Salah is a great goal scorer over 90 minutes, but feels like Mane offers more. Right. And we will round up now, boys, but I want to get your thoughts on this. Overall, in my opinion, Mane does offer more. That being said, across both of their careers, Salah has more assists. And actually, in this season, Salah has better defensive stats, which is something Mane gets a lot of praise for. He has way more goals and way more assists. So, and I still hear Salah getting a lot more criticism than Mane, and I hear Mane still getting praise. Even as a Mane's number one fucking man. Like, if that man needs something, like, if his bear broke up with him, I'm there in 5 minutes, and I'm supporting my man. Do you hear what I'm saying, boys? It's one of them things with me and Mane. We're just boys like that. We're boys like that. I do it for you, and I do it for him. He's never met me in his fucking life. But if he bailed me out of nowhere and went, hey, James, my team just broke up with me, bro. I don't know what to do, mate. Sadio, say no more, fella. I'm coming with the marijuana, even though he probably doesn't do it. But it'd be an option for him.
Come around with the haze one.
I put the phones on, I bag it all up, and I'm ready to go.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. And listen, mate, it's like, even though I do love him to the core, and I've just established that, Salah does get too many critics, and he is too good for the criticism that he gets.
True.
I would agree.
There's not much more to say about Salah that's already been said. He's just a machine, brilliant on and off the pitch. Look at the numbers, G. Look at the numbers.
They don't lie.
Facts. Facts.
Men lie, women lie.
Numbers don't. Now, what I would say is Mane, and I, like James, I think we see this. Mane is incredible, but Mane hasn't been on form the whole of this season. Of this.
Besides the first couple of games, he's been gone. He's
been gone, bro. And still look at his impact. The only thing is, I don't think that I would say if Salah was not on the same form as Mane, would he have the same impact? I don't know. I think that Salah is a big moment player. We get moments from Salah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like with Mane, even when he's not doing things, it's just his relationship with Robbo. Do you know what I mean? Just to help him out. Do you know what I mean? That's all he just seems to offer. That's all it is. But if you need a goal, you need an assist, like you said, then bro, it's Salah that's going to supply that. Do you know what I mean? And you 100%. Are right. People are too quick to throw dirt on Salah's name, man. They need to stop that.
Yeah.
Facts. But boys, that has been the LFC Talk Show. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in. Make sure that you go and subscribe to Nick and Alex. Link is in the description. We've had a good few people in the chat tonight, man. We want to start bringing this to you on a more weekly basis. I'm chatting every Wednesday, boys. If you're able to keep that day free. If not, or if we have a game, we can work our way around it. But anyway, people, that has been James #Hammers. That's been your boy. Alex, you're supposed to say your name.
82, yeah.
And that has been your boy.
Say LFC TV. Oh, God.
Come on, man. Right, see you later, people. Have a good one, and we will see you all. Adios.